to 20 minutes. Let's see what happens when we get to the end of it. So the reason I'm making this is because I have a group of, a secret group on Facebook, and somebody within that group asked me a question, which isn't unusual. I get asked questions a lot, either through social media or through, you know, my list, my email list, and my contacts. But I want to make this video, make this masterclass for you, and it's a visibility vibes masterclass. So if you find that you're looking for groups or trying to find groups to network with, and forgive me for looking down, I'm looking at my notes. If you're looking for groups to network with, if you need to define who you're looking for so that you can find those groups, or if you're looking to connect with people or for places to connect with people, either online or offline, and you're either a new or existing business, maybe you're aspiring to start a business, you don't know where to start, or you are already in a business, and that business could be a young business or a slightly older business, you know, 5 years, 10 years or more, then you're going to love this masterclass. So my name's Jenny Kovacs. I'm known as the Queen of Being Seen because visibility is my thing. And when I say visibility, this is about you being able to get yourself out there, whether it's how you speak, whether it's how you write, whether it's online or offline, but most importantly, doing it as you through the visibility vibe system. Very important. And the reason that I share these sorts of visibility nuggets is because my clients have been people and have included like industries such as travel. I've got a list of them here, you know, travel, financial services, catering, hotel and hospitality, all sorts of things like that. Even in my past life, I've been a mystery shopper. Not a lot of people know that, and I can't say which company that's or companies that's for. But my clients these days are consultants, are coaches. You know, some of them are even working in the personal development or soft skills arena. Some of them are marketeers, work in retail. I was listing this out just before this masterclass. It's quite a diverse bunch. I've even got people that work in the food industry as well. So on this video, I'm going to cover 3 things: how to find groups to network with, how to define who you're looking for, and places to connect with people online and offline. So if you're ready, I would recommend that you grab a pen and paper, even if it's you know, a piece of an envelope or a piece of paper that's close to you. Alternatively, watch this mini masterclass, subscribe to the channel so you can come back to it, and subscribe to this video so you can come back to it. So have a listen of this and start to, rather than making notes of what I say or what might sound great to you or what you like, the, you know, the thought of, or what you think you're going to do, I invite you to write down actions of what you're actually going to do. And even though I'm giving these examples, you know, whether you're a consultant, coach, marketer, whether you're into soft skills, into personal development or retail, I really invite you to look at your business or your business idea and start to fit in your business into these examples that I give. So, number 1, how do you find people to network with? There are groups out there such as Meetup, for example, and it's really interesting. Sometimes business owners will go into groups like this or organizations like this with very preconceived ideas, and their preconceived ideas might be that, you know, there's no business people within there, you know, or people that join meetup groups don't really want to pay, they're not committed, they're not going to show up, when the truth of the matter is there's a massively diverse range of groups, you know, groups from dating groups, groups from people that are interested in seminars, groups of people that like to explore and do things, groups of business owners, groups of investors, groups of people that work in the IT sector, and there's thousands of different areas of IT that people could work in, people that do work in businesses, you know, it could be that people that are studying certain things, people that are looking at marketing. I think you get my drift. So I would say don't discount groups like either Meetup or Eventbrite or anything like that, in terms of connecting initially online, so you can have a good look at what they're doing, and further down the line offline, where you're meeting them in the face. Now, if you're looking specifically at doing your homework online, it could be that you're a mother, a working mother, or a working father. It could be that, like me, many years ago, every time I wanted to connect with a client, especially if it was a corporate client, I would jump in my car, drive a few hundred miles, you know, for an hour and a half or something like that, have the meeting with them, and then drive back again. I realised that wasn't best use of my time, or jumping on a train or anything else like that. So one really great way to start to build those connections online and to use your time wisely would be to use some of the social media platforms. It could be Twitter, it could be Facebook, it could be LinkedIn. This is all dependent on the next piece that I'm going to cover, and that's defining who you're actually looking for. Okay, so if you want to connect with these people online, have a look at the people that you're looking to connect with. Are they going to be found in a more business-like, organisational-like corporate space? Are they going to be found within the NHS, for example? Are they going to be found in a group? It might be that you do something that's health and well-being related, it's medical, it's mindset, you know, it's physically about the body. It could be bodybuilding. It could even be that you consult maybe on projects or things like that. Depending on what you do will depend on where you find them. So I'm just going to pause for a second. And in that the first point that I made, I want you just to take a moment just to write down the groups that you want to network with. And I don't want you to think about, oh, well, what groups are out there, who's got the money to spend, and who's the biggest group or most well-known group. I want you to think about who you actually want to network with. You know, are they employees? Are they business owners? Are they mothers? Are they professionals? Are they interested in internet marketing? Are they getting married? Are they going through a lot of stuff at the moment? Are they about to? Now, I'm throwing out some ideas there, but think about where your people are at the moment, what's going on for them. Take a moment to write it down. Even if the first thought you think, oh, well, that's not a really good thought, write it down anyway. You can always do a process of elimination after this video and spend more time to kind of brainstorm that. So that's the first thing. So the next thing is, I want you to be able to define who you're looking for, because it's really interesting. You know what you do. You completely understand what you do. You know who you work with and who you look for. And the single most biggest mistake, if you want to call it that, that I hear business owners or aspiring business owners do when they're looking for these people is they think that the only way to do it is to niche. Now, that isn't my thought, controversial or not. I don't believe that niching is the most helpful way for you to find the people that you're looking for, or articulate the people that you're looking for. I have worked with so many people, and I myself have been caught down the niche trap. So this isn't about niching. This is about defining the people that you are looking for. And you might define them in these ways, and I'd love you to write this down. You might define them as people who you have helped in the past, whether they've paid for your services or not. And that could be in a previous job, wearing a previous kind of life hat, if you like. The other place that you might find are people that, regardless of what you do in your business, you find you're getting an influx of them coming to you. I had this in 2013 when I thought I was more about presentations and how people presented themselves, and had an influx of authors. And then the next influx of people I had come to me were people in the music industry. And this is really strange to me. I've never worked in the music industry, and at this moment in time, I haven't written a book. Yet these people were coming to me. So there's certain characteristics of the people that you're looking for. To make this really easy, think of one person that you've enjoyed working with, one organization that you've enjoyed working with, you know, a company or a business that you've enjoyed working with, a person that you've enjoyed working with. Just think of one, and if more come to mind, although I'd get you to write them down, just have one person in view. And think about their characteristics. Now, very good friend of mine, and perhaps I should get her onto a future webinar masterclass, talks a lot about client maps, you know, and it's describing the characteristics of those people or that person or that organization so that they know it's definitely them. So although this is something that I know scares people, if you try and spread your net far and wide, nobody gets it. But if you start to really hone down and define the characteristics of the people you are looking to work with, or looking to meet in this case, looking to network with, then they will hear it and they'll get it. Okay, if you've got lots of different types of clients, just start with one and really kind of go for that one and then move on to the next one, add them into the bucket. Don't try and do it all at the same time. You'll just get into overwhelm and it will be quite confusing, not only for you, but for them. So let me give you an example of defining who you're looking for. So on this piece of paper, I'll talk about, I'll talk about what I do, and I'll also give a kind of a client example, obviously anonymously, because it's nice to keep confidential on that. So for example, one of the kind of like characteristics, if you like, with people that I look for are people who are entrepreneurial minded, business minded. And the reason I say that is because I find those people in organisations, but that's not enough to say that. So these people have got a business or have got a business idea and they want to do really well. In fact, most of the people that I work with have got this it's like this fire in their belly. They know somehow that they're meant to do really well, that their organisation is supposed to do really well. They found a gap in the market and they get really passionate and excited about what they do. But when they go to articulate that or explain it to somebody, they find themselves getting a little bit tied up in knots or wondering why people don't understand what they do. So they want to really be able to talk about what they do in a way that people get and ultimately buy them, buy their services, and actually buy their ideas and their concepts. So physically handing over money, but also getting them. That's what most of the people I work with are like. And I got to that place because I had to look individually one-to-one. I had to look at the entrepreneur who was getting started, what they wanted. I had to look at the business that had been going for a few months and kind of got off to a false start, but really wanted to go for it. I had to look at a business in isolation. It was a retail business. It had been going for 6 years, but they wanted more visibility. They not only wanted people to know more about their brand, but they wanted to sell more because that's what keeps a business afloat. So when I started to look into the characteristics of all of these people, they were really like passionate. And I know that word gets overused, but it was more than passion. They had a fire in their belly to get out there. So not only did they have that fire in their belly and the business idea, they wanted to get out there, they needed to get out there. Something else that I noticed about these people were that they were quite outside of the box. A lot of them would say to me, I really want to do this, but I don't want to follow a blueprint or a system. I don't want to be like everybody else. I do things differently. I'm not like all the other businesses, you know, I'm not like all the other retail businesses. I'm not like all the other coaches out there. I work very differently to many consultants. And they would all say this. This was a characteristic that I couldn't ignore. And because of that, that then became something that I talk about in defining who I want to work with and who I'm looking for. So you can imagine if I'm going on to something like Meetup and someone's group is called, business consultants who do things in an extraordinary way, I know that these people are going to be in there. If I'm looking on LinkedIn and somebody has posted, and sometimes I've had connections with like the CEO, the financial officer, the chief financial officer, the operations director, associate director, so quite a high level as well as the management level. These people have often not kind of exposed themselves in, say, a LinkedIn group, but it's the groups that they've joined to do things differently. So I now know that I can find them. I know that people that are kind of passionate about what they do, it doesn't mean that they're not passionate about what they do, but they don't get the work or use the work in the way that they're supposed to, and they can get the best results. So there'll be somebody else out there for them who they are their kind of ideal match. Does that make sense? So again, on a piece of paper, I want you to write down just a couple of characteristics that you've noticed about the person that you had in mind. And if you've gone on to another person or an organisation, I want you to write down some of their characteristics. Things like they had the budget and things like that. That's not stuff that you know. You think you know that. One of the things that I hear a lot of businesses say is, I want to go into consulting or into corporate because they've got money. That's not necessarily true. It's all about cash flow and can they access that? And I've worked with plenty of one-man band businesses who have wanted this, fire in their belly has wanted them to get the results that they are trying to achieve in terms of visibility. They will go out and get the money. They either go out and make the money in their business, and some of them have even said, you know what, I'm just going to look at a couple of my credit cards and throw the money down on there, because ultimately they understand that, for example, what I do not only raises their visibility, but they can monetize that visibility. There's no point being out there and being everywhere and people saying how great you are if you're eating beans from a can. Okay, so that's really important. And the third point was places to connect on and offline. Now, if you have done step 2, so define who you're looking for and their characteristics, this makes step 3 easier. When you know that you are looking for doctors who specialise in fertility treatments and only work in private clinics and are very keen to work within the parameters of the health service at large, it means that if you go onto LinkedIn, you can start to look for those very specific groups. It could be groups of doctors, it could be groups of fertility specialists, it could be groups of people working outside of a big national organisation, people looking at health and well-being, people looking at diet and fertility. That's diet, sorry, that's my very lazy accent. So once you start to do that, you can look in places like LinkedIn if that's where they're going to be found. Don't dismiss Facebook as being too personal, because you've got like millions and billions of people on Facebook, and there's certain information that if you've got an account on Facebook, you give Facebook. So things like, are they a senior manager? Do they have their own business? Are they an employee? Their interests, books that they read, films that they like, things that they're interested in. So there's that side of it. But on the other side of it, don't forget the public pages, the business pages and people like that. Don't forget all of those as well. You can start to use, when you've defined who you're looking for and their characteristics, you can start to use that to have a look through the public pages to form connections. So one of the places to connect, whether it's online or offline, if you are looking at a public page or something like that, you can connect with somebody because they've got those characteristics. Now, when I say connect, I mean connect. I don't mean you connect with them so that you can get some business out of them or get their client list. This is a reciprocal thing. And visibility is about doing the stuff. The vibes is where it comes from. When you go and approach somebody specifically to get something from them and not give anything in return, they feel it, they hear it, they smell it. That might not have come out of your mouth, but it doesn't feel good. So my suggestion is, online, to really create and forge really great relationships. Now, I've had this happen a number of times. people that I've met online and known online for a couple of years, I've then met in the flesh, or we've had a Skype call, or we've connected, and we've gone on to be able to form a connection. You know, I can recommend people to them and vice versa. This has happened a number of times. Now, for those of you that are saying, I don't like all this internet business, I want to do that face to face, that's fine too. It's likely that those meetings that you were looking at online, whether it's kind of Eventbrite or Meetup or something else, it's likely that when you start going out to those networking events and start connecting with people, they might be like lunches, there might be professional lunches, it might be governing bodies, it could be anything like that. But when you start meeting them in the flesh, again, it's the same thing. That's where you forge your connections. If you're the sort of business that goes up to somebody and thrusts your business card in their hand and walks away, that's not forming a connection. But if you go to a networking event, and this is one of the intentions that I tend to set, my intention when I go out and network are to have some really great conversations with up to 3 people. This morning, I went to an event that was run by some very successful network marketers, and I actually had 5, but my intent was 3 really great connections. And this was to be able to offer and give them something that would be helpful for their business, whether it's, you know, leads to other people or an idea for them to run with. So a really successful strategy. And already out of those 5 connections, I've already had like a couple of text messages with people saying, really great to meet you, let's keep in touch. And that's a connection. Okay, so that's a mini masterclass. Despite the fact that I promised it would probably be 15 minutes, it's possibly been longer than that, but I don't care because there's some really good nuggets. So this, you know, look back at this. This will help you find groups to network with. It will help you define who you're looking for. And it will also cover places that you can connect with people both online or offline or both. So thank you for watching and thank you for listening. I ask you to subscribe to my channel, so every time a new webinar, a new video comes up, you'll get notification. And if you are great on social media and love it, I'm on Twitter and I'm Jenny Kovacs and my handle is @GiftWishLTD. And if you're more avid on Facebook, please have a look for me. I'm a public figure. I've actually got 2 pages. I've got Jenny Kovacs, Queen of Being Seen, and I've got Jenny Kovacs, Speaker, Trainer, Coach. So if you're big on Facebook, big on public pages, just look for me on facebook.com/visibilityvibe or facebook.com/Jenny Make It Happen. But as you're watching me through YouTube, I'd love to connect with you here. Pop a comment below. Let me know what you've tried. Let me know what you're going to take action on. And even let me know if you've taken action and found a block in there and you want to know how to overcome that. Just post in the comments below. But until then, I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.